Now. All right, it is March 25th, 2020, second session team meeting. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to share my screen. And I just want to say first and foremost, this is our logo, and it says right at the bottom of the logo, the triple growth experience. Does anybody know what that means? Anybody want to unmute themselves and know what the triple growth experience means?
Personal, professional, financial.
That's right. That is absolutely right. I would write that down if you didn't know that. Personal, professional, and financial. The triple growth experience is the personal, professional, and financial growth that Vector offers. Now, someone just hopped on and is loud, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all good. If you could mute yourself, that'd be great. All right, cool. So the triple growth experience, and I talked about this last couple of weeks as far as a mission statement. It says it right in there. To help representatives grow personally, professionally, financially. And this right now is what we are selling. Like that's what we sell as Vector leaders, is we sell the opportunity to grow personally, professionally, financially. What's really cool about that is, well, we actually have the opportunity to grow. It's a choice. And I just had Kobe send me a message, and hopefully he's cool with me sharing, but I'm sure he'll share. I'm going to ask him to share in his own words, but he was listening in. He said, who's this guy talking? He's talking some real shit I needed to hear right now. And then he said, I was listening to him and I sent out 30 Facebook messages and got my demo goal hit. The taking it serious and the personal development. I've been working on personal development with this and my other business, and trying to reinforce to be different from others. And what we offer young people is exactly that, just a playground, a space to be different than others. And I love that. I love that you're here on a Wednesday night to be different than others. You're here to get inspired. You're here to learn. You're here to grow, to earn. We don't want to just have you learn a bunch of stuff and grow and then like be broke. So we do want you to grow financially as well. And I think that's what's important about this meeting tonight. So we're going to give you some meat, and then we're going to obviously continue watching this virtual summit, because these guys are just giving such gold right now on how to sell more Cutco. So I love this quote. I shared this a couple weeks ago. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And change is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, people say, well, I don't want to change. I like who I am right now. Well, I also like the iPhone 3 when I had it. But then I like the iPhone 4, and now I like my iPhone 10. It's just like, it's just an upgrade. It just helps you level up to become a better version of you. It's not turning a triangle into a circle. It's turning a triangle into a cone. It's not taking a circle and turning into a square. It's turning a circle into a cylinder. It's adding an extra dimension. We don't want you to become a different shape, but we do want you to grow a third dimension of who you are. Become a better version of you, becoming another dimension of you. That's really what we want to do for young people. I know we talk about it every week, that success is nothing more than just a small actions daily, #SAD. Small, simple disciplines. Sometimes we don't feel like doing the disciplines, but those are the disciplines that help us get what we want. I know we also talk about the neglects. It's a small, simple neglects. It's like, I'll do it later, the procrastination. And then that nips us in the bud. If anytime something urgent is showing up for you, like, oh my God, I didn't take care of that, I got to stop what I'm doing and take care of it now. It's probably because it was a few neglects that happened prior, and they just kind of caught up to you. So if we just practice these simple disciplines each day, it's going to keep us away from that reactive state versus staying in the proactive state. And there's a great book by Stephen Covey and also Sean Covey, but Sean Covey is has the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and Stephen Covey has the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the grown-up version. But they talk about being proactive. It's the first chapter, and I highly recommend that book. It's a great book. We also talk about each week, do you have a problem in your life? No, you got nothing to worry about. Yes, can you do something about it? Accept it or change. We got to do one of those two things. And lastly, I always love to start our meetings with, are we chasing outcomes or influencing beliefs? Obviously, there's only so much that we can do to control the outcomes. Now, we're going to give you some sales tools tonight to help you influence the outcomes, But what we're really after is changing our beliefs, believing that we're adequate, believing we're confident. And then we'll see how we feel. And then we'll feel great. And then we'll take action. And when we take action, we're probably going to get outcomes. Now, even if we don't get the outcomes, we still put those belief systems on. How do you put those belief systems on? Listen to podcasts, read books, practice silence and stillness, go out in nature, take a cold shower, jump on a trampoline, go for a run. These are a couple of different things that you can do to feel good, but to influence your beliefs. Journaling is great as well. We know our goals right now as a team. We're not changing them. In fact, we might change them to go bigger. I mean, the opportunity is very, very exciting right now. Currently, our pace for our spring, 56 out of the 100 launched. We have 2 more training classes to go. 100 out of the 300 campus. That might be tough to hit since there's no more campus, but the PRs over halfway there. 189,000 out of the 225. We're going to blow past our sales number during these next couple of weeks. Currently, number 1 office in the country and number 2 in new business sales. New business is reps under $30,000. So we're currently number 2 in that category, just 15K behind number 1. And we should take over that number 1 spot during the next couple of weeks, which is pretty exciting. As far as our goal last week, every week is to get to 20K. We do that, we get to $1 million. And last week we got to right at about $11,000 last week. Despite all the circumstances, I would say there's still a lot of really positive things that are taking shape in our business right now. Dylan Fitz found a way to, with his phone orders, to get over 107 weeks in a row over $1,000. You could see some people are really making a move. Look at Audrey Cruz, the number 2 assistant manager in the entire eastern part of the United States. She sent a video out today. I forwarded it to a lot of you, if not all of you, for you to check out. 2 Minutes with Audrey, who's the number 2 assistant manager in the entire company last week. We had Cassidy last week make a move, getting onto the newsletter. Davis make a move, getting onto the newsletter. Dylan and Audrey making a move, getting onto the newsletter. We have people making their move on our team. There are people across our country making their move. The number 1 rep still sold $16,000 last week. That was a field manager, a CSP. We also had a $10,000 rep last week. Number 20, it only took $2,900. $3,000 week gets you nationals. So if you're interested in really making a statement, shoot, with how many appointments y'all have, you just get a couple of nice prospects. You can go go nationals. You take a screenshot of that. You put it in your portfolio. You have that for the rest of your life, that you were nationally ranked during the pandemic. What an inspiring goal for you to set for yourself this week. 3K is all it took last week. I don't know what it'll be this week, but what an exciting goal for you to set for yourself. We also have Audrey Cruz, number 147 student in the entire country right now on our team. She's going to share some tips with you and give you some best practices here shortly. We also have some really exciting matchups right now. The final 4, each of these individuals won $100 in free Cutco: Jess, Dylan, Audrey, and Alexis. And it's coming down to the wire. The final 2, the winner of this will get their choice of $150 in Cutco or a 60-minute massage. Now, granted, you might not want the massage right now due to the pandemic, but it's up to you. We could rain check it for another time, but pretty exciting contest prize. And the number 1 will get a VIP night, and we'll figure out what the celebration will end up being. We'll play that by ear, but it's a lot of fun, lots of competition. And I know Alexis is in for a good battle this week, and also Audrey's in for a good battle this week. But I think the grounds are pretty even, in the sense that if there was ever a week to have an upset, this would be the week, Audrey. So I'm excited to see what happens. It's going to be fun. I also want to mention right now the top 25 campaign to date. Congrats to AJ for creeping in there to the number 25 spot. Over $5,000 for the spring campaign. Nice work. Ashley right at $5,000 too. Both of you are knocking on that $6,000 promotion. Shout out to Cassidy, over 5,400. Last week she sold 800, which puts her over a 6K promotion for the spring. We'll officially recognize that on my next couple slides. We have Amanda over $6,000 for the spring. We got Austin over $8,000 for the spring. Jess over $10,000 for the spring. Kat over $10,000 for the spring, and Audrey over $10,000 for the spring. So nice work. I want each of you to think about your $10,000. When will you get over $10,000? Could you make a move to do it this spring? You know, you think about it, you have about 5 more weeks. What would you need to sell in 5 weeks to get over 10 grand? I would write that question down for you. What would I need to sell per week for the next 5 weeks for me to get over 10 grand? You know, if I'm looking at AJ, it's 5 grand. So what would I need to sell a week for the next 5 weeks? I just got to sell $1,000 a week. You know, and then you get over 10 grand for the spring. And then you get this letter of recommendation from the president of the company. That's pretty awesome. I think it's a great goal for you to shoot for. Now, to help you transition into the summer season, Mr. Andrew Evans, by the way, if you're not listening to Ace Weekly, I've been talking podcasts, I've been talking to Feed Your Mind. I highly recommend you to subscribe. And if you're liking it, give a rating and a review. Andrew Evans is at another level right now with his ability to influence. I have several podcast video audios that I shared on our Game Changer leadership group. And I highly recommend the skills and the habits, the mentality shifts that he's creating for some people is really awesome. And, he's rated by Yahoo one of the top 30 young entrepreneurs in the entire country. And you have access to him in Vector Marketing, which is really exciting. And you have access to him to listen to him while you're in your car or while you're doing your workouts and whatnot. So highly recommend. For those of you guys that want actual quality time with Andrew Evans and Mr. Gamboa, they're hosting a meeting. I want you to write down this meeting date. It's April 21st. It's going to be over Zoom, just like this. It's going to be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's a Tuesday, April 21st. You want to write that down. This is a sales leadership development meeting. It will be 3 hours, live time, just like this, where you could interact with Mr. Gamboa and Mr. Andrew Evans. And they're going to just share their best sales and leadership tips to help you transition to the summer season. They're going to teach you something called a kitchen system that's going to help you increase your average order. They're going to teach you tips on how to get recommendations, 12, 15, 20 recommendations per appointment. They're also going to show you what Cutco Through College looks like. So you have a roadmap on how you can do this longer than just the spring and longer than just the summer, and maybe do this all the way through college. So I know a couple of people have gone to an SLDM before. Let me come up for some air for just a moment. I know Amanda's obviously been to an SLDM. I know Audrey's been to an SLDM. I believe Jessica during the winter break went to an SLDM. I know Brenda's been to an SLDM. What shows up for you? I think Rochelle even went to one during the January program. If you had to share your biggest moment of clarity or light bulb, they don't kind of put you on the spot, but if there was one or two or three of you, go ahead and unmute yourself and share maybe a thought for anybody that's never been to one, because you only get to go to one. So if you've already been to one, you can't go. You only get to go to one. So Jess is not invited, but she'll at least share some thoughts of why it could be beneficial for you. So Jess is raising her hand. So Jess or Rochelle or Amanda, Audrey, any of you that have maybe a thought of why that could be beneficial for other people to put it in their schedule and be on that next conference.
Yeah. So for me, I know in the fall I was selling a lot of pieces, some starter sets. I was just doing a lot of demos. So that's where I got the majority of my orders from. After the SLDM, for that push, I ended up having a lot more larger set orders. I was able to work people up and down. I felt so much more confident, and I just felt like I knew what I was doing. And that was already at my 20 grand point. So the confidence that the SLDM gave me is what carried me from that 20 into 35.
Yeah, excellent. I appreciate that. Maybe you muted yourself. You could go for it.
I would say Jeff also talks about some good tips for recommendations. After I attended my SLDM, I've never gotten less than 10 recommendations on an appointment unless they're not giving any recs. So getting a sponsor every single time is where I learned from the SLDM.
So if you'd like to get a sponsor every time that someone gives you recommendations, that's really a helpful event. If you want to increase your average order, like Jess said, it's a great event. Audrey, what shows up for you?
So overall, just increasing your average order if it's kind of low. So you learn the kitchen system. If you don't know it, it's amazing to close on. And you want to make sure you're closing on it every time so your demo's consistent. And even if you get a no on the kitchen system, by the time you drop down to the homemaker, you might get a yes. So you just get more no's and then get to a yes quicker, therefore resulting in a larger average order.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things that I really liked from his SLDM is his goal sharing. Jeff does a great job at creating a framework of how to share your goals effectively in the beginning of the presentation. It's really masterful, and he gives a couple of documents to help support that as well. I'm going to refer to that a little bit tonight on our Zoom, but he really takes it to another level. So April 21st on Tuesday, all you got, they only want people that are at over 1,000 in sales. You got to be at least at your first promotion. So you have a couple of weeks to get there. Here's what I'll say. We're going to have a whole new group of people starting to work with us during the next month. I really want you to be leaders for them. Like, I don't want you to be the new people forever. So like, I'm looking at like Cassidy Stone. Like, I don't want Cassidy to be the new person in a month from now. Like, you're the new person right now, but I want you to be actually someone who offers value to the new people in a month from now. Like, I want you to think about it in those terms. Like, what can I do to position myself during these next 4 weeks to not be the new person anymore? Because we're going to have a whole wave of new people starting. I'd like for you to emerge yourself into leaders of the new people. Under that umbrella, I do want to celebrate with a few of you. We had last week, specifically, we had Cassidy Sanborn hit her 6K promo, which is really exciting. So kudos to you, Cass. I know you've been working really hard and staying consistent around graduating this year. So kudos to you. For those of you that are excited about hitting some of those promotions, this is what it looks like. This is how close some of you are. Jeff, $750 away. Kendrick, $16 away. Is that freaking accurate? Like, what the heck? Ali, $62 away. Like, what? Let's do it. Ashley, $729. Let's go. Thomas, $310. Ask it out already, man. Let's go on that. Let's ask that promotion out on a date. Let's go. Cody, $756. Cecilia, $635. It's fun to see it's fun to see Alexis and Tiara duke it out to see who's going to get their picture next to Jessica on the wall. So that's a little fun little battle royale right there. Kobe $2,000 away from that promo, along with Eric. Eric's only $2,000 away from Dirty 30, dude. So 5 weeks. Could you hit it in 5 weeks? That's only, what is that, $400 a week, dude? Could you do it in 4 weeks and just do $500 a week for 4 weeks? Just map it out. Could you get there by the SLDM? Davis, $2,300 away from that next promotion. So a lot of you are doing great. Jakira, $2,400 away. Amanda, $2,400 away from 50% half baby. Audrey, $2,200 away from $50,000 in sales, making 45% commission. Rochelle, $2,300. Austin, $1,900. So a couple of you guys are very close, which is really pumped up. And I'm really excited to show you some of you all building wealth. Eric up to over $56 in his withholdings. It's growing, which is cool. That's how everyone started. Tiara's almost at $1,000. We have Jess right now at $2,700, approaching $3,000 in withholdings. Audrey over $4,000, and Amanda Swanson over $6,000 sitting in her withholdings, sitting in her savings account, just like not in her savings account, in her like withholdings on her paycheck, just extra money that she's setting aside, building wealth for herself, which is so. I want you to write this down. Expectations create reality. Expectations create reality. There's many people in our organization that are getting things done, and I wanted to go to them for some best practices. I wanted to ask a couple of people in the organization, what's working? This is pen and paper time. This is where you're going to take some notes. What's working? What is helping you get the work done? I know for a couple of you, I'd like to hear from Caitlin. Caitlin is, she shared a quick video I shared earlier, 60 seconds. Facebook worked for her. I want her to speak to that a little bit. Creating extra appointments and also getting her sales swag. I think those are a couple of things that Caitlin could speak on. Audrey shared a great video earlier today as well that we sent out. How she's been able to stay consistent and get over $1,000 on virtual sales, overcoming the limiting belief of virtual demos. I know Cassidy's been able to stay consistent over $500 a week. I'd like for you to share your tip on how everyone can get over $500 a week, how they can get over $500, not every week. How could they get over $500 this week? Davis is making his move. Davis just got married, dude. Congratulations, by the way. Pretty exciting. you know, so he has a baby on the way, and he's been consistent on getting over that $500 a week since he's made a commitment to do it. I want to get some dialogue. How can anyone get over $500 this week? What could they do? What are some best practices? Let's go to Caitlin first. So I'll go to Caitlin, and then I'd like to go to Cassidy, and then I'll go to Audrey, and then we'll go to Davis, and then we'll see where the conversation unfolds from there.
All right, cool. Hey guys. So I was actually at a no sales streak. I think it was 6 no sales in a row. And my big kind of step up was when I watched a bunch of Mike's videos on the Game Changers group chat, like I said in the video. And we ended up with 4 sales in a row, and the one sale that I didn't get, she gave me a Facebook post that I got 10 new customers from it. And then with those 5 Facebook posts that I got during the week, I ended up with 23 new names that I've been messaging, and most of them are saying, you know, I want to help you out. And I just really think that it's the mentality that you go into your demonstrations with, as well as the Facebook post. That's something that I'm starting to live by, because that helps you out so much. And that's basically it.
Excellent. I'm going to refer to that here in a moment, and I have some tools for all of you. So thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate it. Let's go to whoever I said was next.
Sorry, if I cut out, it's my internet. Internet just started acting wonky. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Go for it.
Okay, perfect. So we kind of touched on this vaguely, but it's my favorite part is start your day off right. Like Mike has been calling me every morning to wake my ass up, get motivated, start your day off right. You know, have that time to yourself where you're making your coffee, you're making your breakfast, you're playing with your dog, you go outside. Especially, it's so important now more than ever to go outside, get your vitamin D, get that happiness, those levels up, get your mentality to the point where you can hop on a virtual demo with somebody and brighten up their day, because you probably will be the highlight of their day. And I get told this all the time. They laugh and they're like, Cassidy, you're just so awesome. Like, thank you so much. Like, I had no idea like this would be this much fun. And so starting your day off right is the key. And even if it's having a dance party, like 30 minutes before your demo, get pumped up. It is probably the most important thing. Having that positive voice, smiling during your demos, and it like sets you up to build your rapport and get your mind stimulated so you can think on the spot. If you feel the conversation is coming to a plateau, working out and starting your day off right will make you think quicker on your feet. So then you can be like, oh, you said you had a dog. What's your dog's name? And like literally act so interested in them. Genuinely, like I said earlier, genuinely get to know your clients, because they'll buy you, and which means they'll buy your knife sets, which is super important. And I guarantee you, this is my little key, is to do all of those things. And that's why I've been able to be consistent with all of my virtual demos, is because I've been doing these things and working on yourself. Because once you're happy, you'll become selfless, so you can make other people happy. So you're not focused on your ego or what you look like over this face camera. Like, you won't care after that, and you'll want to help them more. So that is my consistent key to success for these virtual demos.
I love it. And just a thought, you know, for everyone, you know, she got over 6K. If you could see my screen right now, this is what Cassie, hopefully she doesn't mind me sharing, but this is what we're doing every morning. She sends a big 3 for business and a focus 2 personal. So big three, these are the three things I need to get done for my business. These are the two things I want to get done for personal. I'll offer some wisdom. Then I'll circle back. How are you pacing? Doing well. Get my stuff done. Sounds productive. Awesome. Got a Facebook post. Cool. And then the wins for yesterday, some of the challenges she had. Cool. Let's make a new big three and a focus two for today. All right, let's recover. So she recovered, boom, boom. And then today, big three, worked out, wins from yesterday, challenges from yesterday. Cool, let's recover, make a new big three and a focus two for today. Let's win today. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to have a conversation on like, how did these 5 things go? You don't need me to do that with you. I'm doing that with my best 10 people. I picked out my best 10. You could do that with your coach. You could do that with yourself. But bottom line is, I love what Cassidy's saying. She's starting her day with intentionality. I would write that word down. Intentionality. How intentional are you with starting your day? Which leads into the next question. How intentional are you with how you end your day? Something that I really have done a pretty good job with is no technology for 30 minutes before I go to sleep. No technology 30 minutes prior to bed. Now, sometimes I'll do 2 hours or an hour, but I put the phone in airplane mode. I put it on the opposite side of the room or in a different room. And I'll watch a little TV. Audrey got me hooked on Parks and Rec and The Office, so I've been, checking that out a little bit. And then I'll shut it off. And then I'll read the book I'm reading, which is Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. And I'll feed my mind. I'll sit in silence. I'll play with Tommy. And I'll just give myself that permission for 30 minutes. No technology before I go to bed. So these are just just some ideas of what Cassidy's talking about, how you start your day and how you end your day. Create some rituals. Awesome. I love that. Thank you. Let's go to Davis. And then we'll go to Audrey. What's showing up for you to sell at least $500 a week?
Honestly, the consistency of just making a phone call on a daily, at least five phone calls, that's worked out very well. On the demonstrations, throwing the jokes, that's how you don't bore your customers. Because aside of the fact that the product, it can sell itself, the way you sell it also makes a huge impact. If you go ahead and just read off the script and just with no sort of emotions in your face, it's not going to work out. But then if you go ahead and tell them like some jokes and like, some personal experiences with the knives, eventually it makes it a whole lot more interesting, the demonstration. And towards the end of the demonstrations, I've had many clients where they go like, oh, I like it how you make it personal. I like it how you go ahead and tell me, how do you use it? How do you feel with it? How do you feel with the knives when you use it yourself? Because then they can reflect upon it way better. And just having more of a connection with your clients helps out a lot.
And Davis has 7 appointments ahead of him, going into this week. Cassidy has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 appointments ahead of her going into this rest of this week as well. I think that's a part of the best practice, as well as making sure that you're in front of people. I know, let me see, Caitlin has 2, 3, 4 appointments ahead of her that I see right now on queue. So it's obviously a lot of the things on the demo, but also making sure you get in front of some people too. Looks like Caitlin's waving her hand.
No, I was saying that it's actually 6. I don't know why my queue's not updating.
Got it. Okay, yeah, 6 appointments. All right, good. So let's go to Audrey. Audrey is number 2 assistant manager in the entire region last week. Well, what's showing up for you? I know you put your thoughts in a video. Most people watched it. Some people maybe not, but you can't hear it enough.
Cool. So basically, I hated virtual demos. Would try to avoid them if I could. I built up a good network here in Tampa. But now that's not really an option, not trying to get coronavirus. So, I was just tired of all the no sales that I would always get on virtual demos or the rescheduling. And I'm like, you know what? Let's at least get good at this if this is what we're doing now. So I took advantage of what, the resources that were out there. I role played with Mike for about an hour and a half, which was nice. And all of those videos are recorded. So, I could give you the goods, but I would just say go watch the videos, take notes, debrief them, And right after, go directly into action. So you want to have a lot of demos booked ahead of you, which is what I did. I role played with Mike, went on Facebook, scooped up a couple demos, and then put it right into action, what I took away from those videos. We were going through the virtual summit tonight, and there's a lot of other videos on the Game Changer YouTube channel. That's what I would say.
Thanks, Audrey. And one of the things I would do is create a syllabus. The videos are only 5 to 10 minutes each. If you don't want to sit there and watch them all, could you pick one a day? One a day. And literally there's only 8 videos, so so just something to think about. Kobe, you said something that was really profound, man, and I know you were listening to Kyle Lopes during his message there. What put you into activity as you heard what you heard and positioned you to get appointments? Because you felt stuck for a moment, and I think there's 1 or 2 people that need to hear this, that they felt stuck in a moment, but then had an epiphany, and you created 6 appointments. So you went from feeling stuck to creating 6 appointments. Could you speak to that for just a moment?
Yeah, I was calling everybody. Nobody wanted to answer. Nobody's picking up the phone. So I literally sat here, just stared at the wall. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I decide to keep doing this? What am I doing this for? Then I was listening to the guy talk in the background, and he said something. And he was like, yeah, just like, be different from everybody else. And I was thinking, everybody else in the world right now are down. They're thinking exact same thing. Like, why is the world like this? Why are we doing this? So I thought to myself, I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to go out, do what I want to do, still accomplishing my goals. Doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. Don't matter what's happening on the inside. Do you and keep it moving. So I went to Facebook, sent out 30 different Facebook messages, just random people I just have on my friends list. And I got 6 responses, and they're still coming in now as we speak. So, yeah.
Dude, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you for, number 1, staying on the Zoom and letting it play in the background, feeding your mind. That's really what it comes down to is now, granted, it was kind of convenient because it was already playing, but you don't need Mike to play an audio or a video for you to feed your mind. You have access to a lot of great content. But the point that Kobe is making to you is that it's feeding your mind thoughts, feeding it thoughts. You know, like you feed your body food, you need to feed your mind new thoughts. Because if you don't feed your mind new thoughts, it's going to take thoughts from the past that probably don't serve you. So if you don't feed it nutritious new thoughts, it's going to feed on the thoughts from the past that probably are not going to serve you, because our brain is wired to protect us from danger, and it sees uncertainty or challenge or fear as danger. Now, that's a lot of deep psychology, philosophical stuff, but that's essentially what he was feeding his mind, got influenced, and was able to create some positive change in his business. Thomas, you were able to do something similar. You felt like a little stuck, and now you have 5 appointments ahead of you. What did you get from stuck to 5 appointments? I'm curious. You're muted.
I don't know. It was one of those where I was still nervous about a few more people, and I kept kind of throwing it to the back of my head. I was like not giving myself the option of using them. And then one of them was my cousin that I haven't talked to in forever because of a thing that happened like 10 years ago. And I broke that barrier down, and he gave me 2 other contacts that I was able to call.
So you overcame a fear and you decided. I love that. Regardless of how much you sell, those little moments, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, was it that big of a deal? No big deal?
It really wasn't. It wasn't even brought up.
It's like we make this story up in our head to make things worse than they actually are. and then we experience them. It's like, wow, that wasn't so bad. But Will Smith, if you wanted to check this out, he has an awesome YouTube video about skydiving. If you type in Will Smith plus skydiving, it's an awesome video about how he talks about all the fear from him jumping out of that plane happened the entire time before. And the moment he jumped out of the plane, he felt 100% bliss. He said bliss was when he jumped out of the plane. And all the fear was he wasn't even on the plane and was experiencing fear. But when he actually jumped out of the plane, the scariest moment, the quote unquote scariest moment, was absolute bliss. It's a really fantastic video and audio if you want to check that out on YouTube. So another great tool to feed your mind with. Excellent stuff. Thanks, Thomas. Let me give you some tactical stuff, and then we'll hop back on the virtual summit. And for those of you guys that want to stay on with me, I'd love that. If you got a dip, I'm not going to mandate it. It will be recorded. I'll send it out. But why not feed our mind while we're already in the zone doing so? So I wanted to share a couple of tactical things that you're going to like. So the first thing is this right here is the Facebook document. So I'm going to send out to all of you right now. I've been sending this out to all of my new trainees. So I'm going to send this document. It's called, I created a bit.ly. I'm going to put it in the Game Changer chat right now. Oh, Amanda, I sent you a text. If you could respond or, check that out, that would be great. Don't worry about that. So cool. So that link I just put into the Game Changer chat has this in its folder. So let me make this larger for you to see. But this is the Facebook post to share, along with the Facebook direct message that I kind of tweaked just a smidge. I also, in this document, is the recommendation approach for asking for recommendations on virtual demos. So the video is recorded. You have the video, but I went ahead and I have it typed out for you. So all you have to do is read that. That's one best practice that is tactical that you could implement immediately. The second thing that's tactical that you could implement immediately is an email confirmation to your customers. This is an oldie but a goodie. And it says, client's name, thank you for setting this appointment up with me. We're going to have tons of fun. Just a reminder, our appointment will be at day at time, and we're going to go over Cutco product. You would go to, and then zoom.us and type in my meeting code. So that means you want to create a Zoom account. It's free, and it'll give you a meeting code. And I encourage you to change the meeting code to your phone number. That's a good idea, a little hot idea for you to do. My goal is to, and then you share your goal. Save up enough money to pay for college, whatever it might be. And in order to hit my goal, I need to show Cutco to as many people as possible. So if you could think of some friends and family who might be nice enough to help me out with the presentation, I'd really, really appreciate it. Most people give me 10 to 20, and it actually gives you a chance to get some free Cutco. I have attached an About Me page to tell you more about myself, and a goals page so you can see my goals. We'll go over both during our appointment. Thank you again, sincerely, me. Right? Now you might say, well, what's this goals page thing? So this is also in the folder. This is something that I've used in a long time ago. This was one of my dom, probably back in, 5-6 years ago. Jenna Perry, she's from Ohio. She was one of my first success stories on virtual demos. She sold about $30,000 with a Cutco, all virtuals, as an SBC student from Ohio. And this is some of the stuff that we worked through. But she created an About Me page, and then in a goals page. And again, that's a doc form and then there's an actual slide that I put together that is my goals page that I use for a virtual demo that I did not too long ago. So you can feel free to check those out. I just went and put some Google images onto Keynote PowerPoint. So let me just show you what that looks like. So if you go to Zoom Docs Training, it's right here under creating appointments. There's the email confirmation right there. And if you go to goals pages, you got the personal photo. That's this one. That's what I created. I couldn't even tell you what these pictures were. This one, $100,000. Oh, I think that's how many. Oh, that's no, I don't even know what that is actually. 100,000 meals as to how many we want to donate. Take my wife to the Northern Lights. Help people hit goals. have our firstborn, inspire 1 million people before 2030, the year 2030. So these are a couple of the goals that I was sharing with my customers. Like I said, I just put some Google images and put them onto a keynote. So you can check that out. The recommendations right here, that's where you have the approach. And then I have a photo of the WhatsApp image so you can see what that looks like. And then that's probably all you need. The training manual's here just in case you need that as well. Cool. Do you guys like that? Thumbs up. Is that helpful? Helpful resources that, yep, you like that? Cool. You have access to all that. So let me go ahead and start wrapping up with just a couple quick thoughts. The first one is this. Your focus right now is how can I get 2 sales a week for $600? I would write that down. How can I get 2 sales a week for $600? That's it. That's all you have to do. Most of you, that's only going to take 3 appointments. If you do 5 appointments, you should collect $900 in orders. But if you're only doing 3, you should get 2. Like, how can you create $600? That's it. $600 a week. If you create $600 a week in CPO, you're going to make, if you're at 15%, $90. If you're at 20%, $120, 25%, $150, 30%, you make $180. So if you're making $100, $200 a week, most of you are going to be content with that working from your computer. Now, obviously, if you want to make more, do more. But you'll probably be content working from home while most of your friends are out of work, at least paying yourself $100, $200 a week. And by doing that, eventually you're going to get to 30%. Eventually you'll start seeing really awesome gains. And eventually this pandemic will die down, and eventually you'll be able to do some really amazing things. So you could set up a schedule that looks something like this. We've showed this to you in the past, but I wanted to bring it back. You do school and everything in the front part of the day, open up a couple evening appointments, open up a couple, Saturday, enjoy your Sunday, whatever you want to do. That's an optional schedule. Another optional schedule where you don't do anything except for the weekends and you go large during the weekend. Another option is just do consistent appointments in the evenings, but you don't want to do like 1 a day. You want to make sure that you're doing at least 2 or 3 in a day to build momentum, because you're going to get cancellations. So I want you to think about, when are you going to hit Dirty 30? What's your Dirty 30 birthday? When are you going to do this? When is the date that you're going to be at 10,000 in sales? I want you to write that date down. Work it backwards. If you're at 2K, you got to sell 8. So if you got to sell 8K and all you do is sell $600 a week for 8K, so $8,000 divided by 600 a week, that's 13 weeks. Okay, then you look at the calendar and say, what's 13 weeks from now? Boom, find that date, write it down and say, Amanda, that's my Dirty 30 birthday. I'm just going to make sure I sell my $600 a week and get there, whatever it is. If you want to sell 1,000 a week, great. But pick a date that you could feel good about and make sure that you work hard to getting there. As far as our 2020 vision, the reason why I can be excited about our pandemic is because we still have goals that are outside of the current circumstance. I'm not changing our goals. I'm changing the strategy on how we're going to achieve these goals. And you've seen the slide before, and I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to need more staffing. There's no way that we're going to be able to run the business the way we want to with only this help. We're going to need more assistants helping. So five coaches is not going to cut it. We're going to need more. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you to help us and help you by getting good at the job. The coaches, the deal makers, we're going to be taking so many incoming phone calls from demos that we won't have enough people on deck to handle these. When there's 100 people selling Cutco virtually, how many coaches do we need? We need at least handling 10 people at least. So so you just need to be good at locking down deals. Someone that can call you from their demo and say, hey, I'm with my customer. Can you help me work out a deal? So get good in the sake of helping other people. I told you in the beginning, Cassidy's not going to be new forever. By her getting good now, maybe, she can then help somebody else get good at the job too. What a cool opportunity for you to take your business seriously. And then you could get a sliver off the office, and we'll pay you a little bit. If you don't care about pay, then cool. Just get the experience of being a leader. Why not? Why not? You guys played a sport for so many years of your life and didn't get paid anything for that. You might as well emerge as a leader. All we expect from our assistant managers and anyone that's behind the scenes, it's really simple. We just expect 3 things out of them: consistent with selling, help with team building, and just be a positive role model. As long as you can hit those 3 things, we want to consider you for advancement. So get invited to the SLDM. Many of you that have been invited to as an assistant manager intern to the summer kickoff meeting that's coming up on next Friday and Saturday, you're going to get a real taste of what it means to be behind the scenes. Look forward to that. I'll talk about that in just a moment. So here's a couple of our individuals that we have in our depth chart. Right now we have Alexis, Eric, and Adriana. They're saying, it's management's not the direction for me right now, but I want to make a shit ton of money. Awesome. So every week they're sending me different notes and takeaways from the videos they're watching to get better at the job. Maybe that's the direction you want to go. Maybe you're like, Mike, I don't want to lead people. I just need to lead myself right now, and I want to make a ton of money. Awesome. Become a 5-figure. I'll start working with you. I'll start coaching you directly. I mean, why not? People pay me a lot of money for me to coach them directly. I don't charge you anything because I get paid off of you. So lastly, we need your help. The team needs and the staff needs interview supporters and training supporters. So here's how this works. Everything is on Zoom. We have a different Zoom account during our interviews and during our training seminar. The training seminar is this account. The interviews are a different Zoom. You could ask your coach for the Zoom link on that. But how it works is there's a room like this. It looks this large with people that are applying for the job. How awkward is it when none of them really know what the heck's going on and they're just sitting there like looking at each other on a screen? They're like, are any of you the manager? No, am I in the right place? Like, it's super awkward. So sometimes I just hop on in the middle of conference calls and I see them, and like there was one kid, it was like 6 girls and there's one dude. And he was like, he didn't know I was the owner. And I just was listening in for a little bit, and he was just flirting with every one of them, just going down the line. It's like, and he's like trying to play it all cool. Like, so tell me, what's your name? Yeah, the cute one right there with the hairband on. What's your name? And like, he's just like he's just running down the line of all the applicants.
Hell no.
Oh my God. I was crying on the inside. I was like, this freaking guy. I let him do his thing for just a little bit, and then I had to put him in his place. It was awesome. It was so fun. Like, where I said, I came on, I said, hey guys, just introduce myself, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the owner. If you're not in front of a computer right now, I'll tell you, you probably don't have a chance at the position. And he was the only one walking around with his phone and his headphones in. It was awesome. Immediately he was like, I saw him like run, almost like sprint into his house to be like in a sitting setting so he could look like he was it was awesome. It was really funny. It's the little things. But anyway, we need some help with that. And all you do if you're going to participate is you just hop on the interview and just kind of facilitate the conversation, not really talk about the job, but like build up the manager by saying like, hey, you're going to meet with one of the student managers in a moment. And they're one of the best student managers in the whole country. They'll answer all of your questions for you. I'm just assisting right now. My name is AJ. And, I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. I've been with the company for a couple of weeks, but I'm liking it so far. But what's your name? Oh, hey, Kayla, nice to meet you. Where are you from? What school do you go to? Oh, yeah, AJ was just doing it. He was doing his thing. He was asking about sports and where they're from, what school they're going to, and soccer and all this stuff. Like, it was great, and we really appreciated that. So if you're willing to hop on, we'd appreciate that for interviews and for the training seminar, just giving a drop by. You don't have to stay for a long time, but just hop on. I'll introduce you to the crew anytime between 2 and 9 tomorrow and 1 to 8 on Friday. You just hop on 2 to 9, 1 to 8. I'll introduce you. That way it will help us change the pace. And you could talk to your coach tomorrow about like a good time frame that works for you to hop on. So let me wrap up our meeting, and then we'll get our biggest takeaways and action steps, and we'll go back to the virtual summit. FYIs, last week, the city of New York, or the state of New York, got shut down by the governor, and the Cutco factory was one of those businesses that had to shut down. So, but what's cool is they just announced effective this Monday that, and by the way, the only thing that was affected was the shipping. We have enough on inventory. It wasn't going to affect us at all, but they just announced that we will be back to normal for shipping. So instead of it being like 8 to 10 weeks of what it could have been, it's going to be regular shipping, which is really awesome. So just a note for you there. As far as other reminders, make sure you're still updating your goals and sharing those with your customers. Most of you are doing a great job with this clock in before 10 a.m. and you know who you are if you're not. please make sure you get the clock in on time. Caitlin is looking to get promoted and take over all the stats from Tierra. So she's doing a great job so far. Make her life easier. She's doing a lot of things right now. She's a full-time student, plus selling, plus trying to get promoted, plus setting up people for interviews and doing her spreadsheet work. So just get it before 10, and also the end of day report before 11 p.m. And then every demo, you got to send a voice memo to your coach, because if you want to get paid, we got to have proof of the pay with Q, with a voice memo, with your manager sign-off form. I'll tell you right now, if someone's not going to be able to handle that little responsibility, there's no way I'm going to be able to continue working with you. I love you, and I can't work with you anymore if we're not able to hit it. When we get to 50, 60, 80, 100 people selling Cutco, we can't micromanage base pay. That's an insurance claim. If you can't fill out the paperwork the right way and handle it the right way, not only are we not going to be able to pay you, we're not going to be able to work with you. Like, we're going to revoke your insurance from you. Like, you could still sell Cutco, but you'll be a commission-only rep. Like, we're not going to pay you $18. And I'll share this with all of you. I know this is being recorded. Every other office in the entire region is going down to $15. Puerto Rico is going down to $12. Nobody is paying $18. So the reason why is because we don't need to. All jobs for college kids don't exist. So why should we spend more money? I'm in conversation with Scott Dennis and Jeff Gamboa and Andrew Evans right now. They're trying to convince me to go down to 15, and I'm holding the line right now saying, no, I'm not changing anything, because our business is usual. There is nothing changing in the Game Changers organization. We're already a thriving business. I don't need to change our pay. Their mindset is, it looks too good to be true. Like, it's going to be like, oh, scam, $18, no one's paying that much. Where my mindset is, if I treat all of you right and all of your friends right, then they're going to continue to recommend us more friends. And we're going to provide 200 jobs this summer, all through word of mouth advertising. So, but we can't abuse the program. We got to make sure we're handling and doing it the right way. So just something to keep in mind. What's important now, last point, and then we'll take your biggest takeaways, and then we'll go back to the virtual summit. No goose eggs, earn your AMI spot, and make sure you get on Mr. Andrew Evans' radar by sending him a text message introducing yourself. Our next big event is Summer Kickoff. That's virtual. That's going to be April 3rd and 4th for assistant manager interns only. If you don't know, if that's not you, if you're like, is that me? It's probably not you. So if you had to ask that question, that's not you. But that's going to be at this second in time. It's supposed to be at the office for the 10 people that are in it. But right now, I'm probably not going there. But we'll see what happens over the next week. It'll probably be virtual via Zoom. But we got to have the right etiquette. You got to be dressed nice. It is a professional conference with the entire region. It's not a casual event. The Sales Leadership Development Meeting, same thing, April 21st. You want to have that in the calendar. Again, that is more of a business casual event, not just a casual event. So let's make sure you go through. Let's have you post your biggest action steps. So Caitlin said the dollar bill, if I remember correctly, is how much you want to sell. Oh yeah, that's right. Thanks, Caitlin. That is true. You watched that demo. $100,000 was how much I wanted to sell as a district manager in a year. Nice, great reminder. So what I want you to do is in the Game Changers chat, look at your notes, every biggest takeaway, biggest action step, and also a 2-hour window where you can connect with Amanda. Okay. A 2-hour window where you can connect with Amanda or your coach. And if you're able to hop on the Zoom for the interview or for training, you can just say like, I can hop on for training or Zoom or interview or whatever. If you're willing to support and hop on, you could just put that in your debrief as well. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate you. Any parting shouts before I start streaming the virtual summit from any of the staff or any of our key staff members? Anything that you want to share before, because we don't reconvene like this until next week. Anything else you want to share? Anything that's pressing from a staff member or a key staff member that you want to say? Anything that's on your mind? Anything you want to speak to the team real quick before I bring up the virtual summit again?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to say, I think that everyone on this call right now is really awesome for sure, while still being able to get it done regardless of everything that's happening. I'm super proud to work with the Game Changer team and everyone who's on this call right now, and I look forward to connecting with everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're excited to work with you too, Amanda. You know, I know how challenging it could be to be my right hand, because I am working with a lot right now. I'm getting blown up by the whole company, trying to lead our company through this pandemic, through innovation.
I am too. Luke and Mila both are going to be observing Jessica's interview on Thursday.
Dude, yeah, Luke and Mila are observing our interviews. I was a guest speaker on 2 conference calls in the last 24 hours, speaking on Q, speaking on Zoom interviews. I don't even know how we're running the Zoom training tomorrow. Like, it's going to be freaking awesome. So lots of innovation right now. I agree with Amanda. You guys are awesome. And we can't do it without you. There's no I in team. I know you know that. And you're in the front line. You're the ones dealing with the rejection. I broke up for a second. You're the ones dealing with the rejection. You're the ones dealing with everything you have to go through. But here's what I will say. I've done that 15 years ago, and that's how I got to where I am right now. So keep doing what you're doing. Anyone else have anything else they want to say or express or share before we part ways? Because we're not in this setting for another week. Rochelle, looks like you got something you want to say.
I just wanted to echo what you were saying before, kind of what Amanda said too about, like, if I could scream, yell, love in one word at this screen, that's what I would be doing.
Scream, yell. That's awesome. That's awesome. See, Kobe and Thomas, dude, and AJ and Joel. I mean, we need some more bros, right? We got a lot of queens out there, and a lot of love, and it's also. We love that. Don't get me wrong, but we need some bros too, man. We need some bros. We need some masculine energy. You know, we got.
I could be a bro. What?
We got Eric. We got Kobe, we got Thomas. We got who else is still with us? I got Waylon. I got Joel. We got Kendrick. So we're growing. The bros are growing. This is good. This is good. All right. So this is good. I appreciate y'all. Anyone else before I start streaming? Awesome. So if you got to roll, I'm going to stop recording.